Howdy friends. About a month ago I was laying awake in my bed at night and the thought occurred to me, what if the Masters of the Universe were to play American football? And who would play what positions? So that was the impetus for this video, and I went through and thought about who He-Man would pick for his offensive team and who Skeletor would pick for his defensive team, and I came up with the concept that they would be playing in the Eternia Bowl and we would have the heroes against the villains. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to He-Man and Skeletor to pick their teams.
He-Man, who are we going to unbox today?
Well, Skeletor, we're not going to unbox anyone today. We're going to fill out rosters for football teams to play in the Eternia Bowl. I'm going to assign players for the heroes' offense, and you're going to assign players for the villains' defense.
Okay, He-Man. I've always dreamed of defeating you on the gridiron. Let's get started.
Starting at center, I need a player with high intelligence and natural leadership ability to read the defense and call out blocking schemes and adjustments at the line of scrimmage. The choice is clear to me. The man for the job is Man-at-Arms.
Well played, He-Man. Man-at-Arms is a good choice to play center. To start at defensive tackle, I need a powerful man who can collapse the middle, stop the run, and bat down passes. With his sumo size and his long arm, I choose Jitsu for the position.
Very fitting, Skeletor. Lining up almost opposite Jitsu, with his powerful right arm and strength to move bodies, I am assigning Fisto to the right guard position.
For my second defensive tackle, I select Clawful for the same reasons I placed Jitsu at the position. He's powerful, and he can use his claws to tackle runners and bat down passes.
Wise choice, Skeletor. It will be tough to run the ball up the middle or pass over the middle with those two there. But my selection for left guard will also make it tough for them to rush the passer and stop the run. He's as stout as an elephant. Snout Spout.
To get around or through your offensive line, I'll need a couple of mean, nasty, strong, and tenacious defensive ends. For my first, I choose Beastman.
To block your edge rushers, I need players with quick feet and hands, as well as persistence and determination. For these qualities, I assign Kol-Darr to right tackle.
Lining up at the other end of our defensive line, I assign Grizzlor from the Evil Horde as our second defensive end.
And rounding out our offensive line, for left tackle, I select another player with lightning-fast reflexes, inhuman strength, and high intelligence. Roboto.
Very well, He-Man. Machine against Beast shall make for an interesting matchup. Now, moving on to the outside linebacker position, I choose Trapjaw for his ability to fill the gap, stuff the run, and drop back into pass coverage.
For his versatility as both a blocker and pass catcher, stemming from his ability to play any role, I pick Manny Faces to play tight end.
And for our second outside linebacker, for his athletic capabilities that nearly match your own, I choose Faker.
Lining up at wide receiver, for his speed to get downfield quickly and for his unmatched leaping ability, I assign Stratos.
For his quickness and cunning, we will have Ninjor tracking your receivers as one of our cornerbacks.
Your cornerbacks will definitely be challenged in one-on-one coverage. I think they'll need help over the top to stop either of our receivers. Lining up on the other side, we'll have Sunman, who can fly just as fast and jump just as high as Stratos.
That may be true, He-Man, but if anyone can keep your two birds grounded in one-on-one coverage, it's Ninjor and our other cornerback, Merman. Merman is especially skilled at mucking up routes and schemes.
Sounds like you've had first-hand experience with that, Skeletor. I guess we'll see how well Merman matches up. Now, for the fullback. I can think of no one more suited to any position than Ram Man is for fullback. As lead blocker, he will open up gaping holes in our running game, and he will level anyone who gets through the line in pass protection. When Ram Man lowers his head, look out.
No doubt, He-Man. I will be coaching my teammates to avoid head-on collisions with Ram Man at all costs. But if he does open up a hole in our line and gets past our second level, we'll have Hordak at strong safety, coming downhill to meet him and stop your running back. Hordak is aggressive and hits fast and hard.
He'll have to be fast and hit hard to stop my selection for running back. Clamp Champ. Clamp Champ can pound the rock right up the gut, but is also fast enough to be a threat outside the tackle box and in the passing game.
Well, we have a player with unmatched field vision and a surly disposition, helping to cover your runners and receivers over the top. At free safety, we have Tri-Klops.
That's a formidable roster you've put together so far, Skeletor. I look forward to the challenge of finding and attacking any weaknesses we can find, as I lead the team myself as the quarterback.
Likewise, He-Man. That's a strong offensive unit you've assembled, and I look forward to trying to stop your offense and calling our defensive plays myself as the middle linebacker.
And now, last but certainly not least, we will name our alternates. But before we do that, I am assigning Tila to the kicker position.
Tila? Have you run out of men for your offensive unit, He-Man?
No, Skeletor. I'm picking Tila for the position because she's the best at kicking balls.
Ah, very clever, He-Man. I think I will have to copy you and assign Evelyn to play kicker for us when I fill out our offensive roster. You know what they say. It's a copycat league.
Well, it makes sense to copy what works. Anyway, for backups, we have the Eternian Guard to play offensive line positions, Buzz-Off for backup or third receiver, and Orko for running back. He may be small, but he's very slippery.
For our defensive alternates, we have Whiplash for defensive tackle, Lords of Power Beastman at defensive end, Stinkor and Anti-Eternia He-Man at linebacker, and Leech and Scareglow as defensive backs.
Okay, that about wraps it up for now. Those are the rosters for the Heroes offensive unit and the Villains defensive unit for the teams that will meet in the Eternia Bowl. Goodbye now. Well, I hope you all enjoyed seeing He-Man and Skeletor put together their rosters for the hypothetical Eternia Bowl. As you can see, I wanted to give you a little behind-the-scenes look at the setup here. I'm not in my usual location, which is on the table behind me. You can see instead I had to fit this on the couch because even though the field is quite small, relative to the size of our Origins figures, it was still too big to try to fit on my usual table space that I film on. So I'm just going to say now I'm probably not going to actually film any Eternia Bowl because moving 22 figures is going to just be too much. I won't be able to make it look very good, and it would just be too time consuming, especially this low for my body, and to get reaching all that distance, it's just not really feasible for me to do, I think. So I will only do the team selection. This is probably the only video, unless there's really high demand to see
Skeletor choose an offensive unit and He-Man choose a defensive unit, so we could have them reverse. I would end up using mostly the same players, just in different roles, if we ever do that. So, because I don't have that many more figures to open, especially for the Heroes unit. There's quite a few more defensive unit players. In fact, I even forgot I have Webstore to open still. And Webstore, I think, would make a great cornerback because he sticks to the receiver. You know, that's kind of why I thought Leach would be a good backup cornerback, because he sticks to the receiver. So that's the reasoning there. So I had a lot of reasoning in my head, although I kind of forgot maybe some of it when I was explaining it, writing the script and doing it all. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this exercise in mixing and matching and crossing over MOTU and American football. I know some of you Canadians up there, a lot of you Masters of the Universe fans are from Canada, as well as Australia and the rest of the parts of the world, Europe. There's a lot of you guys in England and in Germany, and even in Indonesia and Asia, those areas. So you guys might have different sports that you could do crossovers. For the Canadians, I'd like to see Masters of the Universe crossed with curling. The sport where they slide the stone on ice, and you have other people sweeping the ice to melt it, make it watery so that the stone goes further. It's really quite amazing what they do. And then also a game that's popular in Canada that most of us may have played in school at one point or camp, called High, which if no one's ever seen it, it looks kind of like the first game that Flynn plays in the Tron movie, where he has sort of a extended glove, hard to explain, for a hand, and catch the ball in that and sling it with that. I'm not exactly sure the rules of High, but I remember playing some version of it in camp when I was a kid. We could also have rugby for world. Lots of world nations have rugby teams. We would need 15 on each to do a complete side, or we could do 7-on-7s, so that would work with a more limited number of figures. You could do baseball teams, of course. That's fairly popular around the world, although I don't know how you would choose your different batters. Maybe outfield positions would be interesting. What else? I suppose you could do regular world football, otherwise known as soccer in the United States and England. So I suppose you could have your defenders and your offensive players and stuff like that. Also in Canada, a very popular sport is hockey, and so you could have your hockey teams if you like. I think football really works well because the positions are really clearly defined. They are in other sports as well, but it's sort of harder to see what each position is doing because they all end up sort of in the same place of the field at some time. A little more interchangeable. So anyway, I enjoy football, and I hardly watch it anymore, but I sort of still seem to follow along with what's going on in the game. I don't know why. It's just something to, I guess, watch on YouTube. And I'm kind of addicted to YouTube as much as I am to collecting action figures. So that's it for now, guys. I've probably worn out my welcome already. So take care, everybody. Bye.